Chris. I'm just the person that wrote the essay for the boat. Worked on the boat for most of it and then handed over to Mihai and Adam.
I'm Adam. I was present for most of the boat build and helped with quite a bit of it.
My name is Mihai. I'm one of the boat builders. I mostly help with oars in the inside of the boat.
We went from one person to two to three. The project started with me asking if we could make a longboat because we'd done the logboat and everyone really liked it and wanted to do another one. The longboat would have been something that tied into Whithorn's history. We got the funding from yourselves, the Holywood Trust. Adam then came on.
Yeah, it was a few months after starting the boat. I got involved because I think we started to realise how much of a challenge it was.
And you'd had your bicep as well.
Yeah, I'd had a bit of an injury, so I was trying to look for something that was a bit less physically demanding. And then we had Mihai.
Yeah, I joined near the end just to help a bit more.
But he was involved with quite a lot of it. He says near the end. We were only maybe just over halfway through. It feels like near the end because after Mihai started helping as well, because we had that many hands, it sped up a lot.
Yeah.
But it was actually still a lot to do. So his help was really crucial for kind of some of the woodworking joints and stuff.
My name's Gail McGarva. I'm a traditional wooden boat builder, one of the very few female traditional boat builders. I've worked as a traditional wooden boat builder for 20 years. Previously I worked in sign language interpreting. I've always been totally in love with boat and made a big leap of faith 20 years ago to retrain as a traditional wooden boat builder. My specialist area is the building of replicas of boats that are in danger of extinction, but I prefer to call them daughter boats. I see it as sort of breathing life into a new generation of the craft. I'm now able to pass on some of my skills to the trainees.
Why do you think it's important to keep the craft of traditional wooden boat building alive?
Traditional wooden boat building, it's about the skills themselves, but it's also about the vessels. And I think within the very vessels, they're sort of almost encapsulations of our maritime heritage. So if we lose the vessels, we lose the actual intangible heritage that's held within them, almost in the bones of their being, really. And in order to preserve the vessels, we need to preserve the skills. It's been classified this year as an endangered craft. I do think it's really important that it's been listed because really that helps them safeguard its future.
I hadn't done anything like that before. Well, a bit of experience using hand tools, but none of the skills that were required for the boat.
I never worked with anything related to wood before joining.
I had my carpentry apprenticeship and stuff, but then there's not much of that translated to the boat. A lot of the boat building is by eye.
Very, very steep learning curve, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I've worked in a lot of different areas in terms of passing on traditional wooden boat building techniques. But with this project, I think it's quite clear that it will be very, very difficult to access that kind of skill development. So it feels really important to pass those skills on to young people who may not otherwise have the opportunity. And in conjunction with that, see them blossom and flourish in terms of confidence and self-esteem.
All three of us attended the Denmark trip. I hadn't been outside of the UK, so that itself was massive, let alone the fact that it was a research trip to Roskilde to see all the Viking stuff in the museum and not just seeing how they rebuild them, but they had what was left of the originals and stuff. And then even to us actually getting to go out on one of the replicas and sail around for a few hours, that was really, really incredible. We made an instrument.
I made a Viking instrument. Nagelharpa basically means like horsehair harp. I was interested in making more as well, so hopefully that opportunity shows up.
You took it to Denmark as well?
I took it to Denmark as well.
To try and find somebody
who knew. I tried to find somebody that knew how to play it.
We've still not found anybody.
Yeah.
It's too ancient of an instrument. They must not be very common.
What do you think the young people involved have gained from this project?
Well, I think you've got sort of different elements. Obviously the hand skills. So many of the people I've been working with have come maybe with some hand skills, but certainly not in boat building specifically. With boat building you're working with bevels and working with curved shapes. It's challenging, so that's great. That means that's a wonderful sort of learning journey for an individual. It also demands, as many other crafts do, particularly so I think in clinker boat building construction where the planks overlap, a lot of your building by eye skill And that's something that I believe for most people is instinctive. They don't know that they have it. And so it's something that you have to build a kind of confidence in. And that I've seen really develop in a staggering way in the trainees.
Gail's a brilliant teacher, just very patient.
Letting you learn through the craft.
Yeah.
Interacting too much.
Yep.
You get confident to the point where even if there's just a slight sharpness in some of the bends, you become able to trust your judgment and your instincts, instantly pick them up.
What did it feel like when you guys actually got in the boat and went out in the water?
Really satisfying.
Yeah, extremely satisfying. It was so nice because the amount of hundreds of hours we've each been to that boat, all of a sudden it's all right there in front of you and it's finished.
Yeah.
I can think of very little as tangibly successful as using something you've built and it working the way it's meant to work.
Yes, it's a great journey.